Welcome to the Hughes Initiative's Police Academy Prep. This is what we call week 6, and I'm so glad to have you here. I'd like to thank everyone who has decided to join us and who will be coming into the live. This week we are talking about the real battle. But because, so let me give it to you like this. Again, let me frame it for you. I have been encouraged by the response that I've gotten from some of our emails. I am extremely excited for you all as well as it relates to this police academy process. But I have been concerned because some of the responses inside of the Google form, once you download the free PDF, they trouble me. I'm troubled. You're in decent shape. You've already started studying. You're in a part of the process, or you're preparing to start. But when it comes to the confidence, that how do you feel? How confident are you? A lot of you are still in the not very, somewhat. I think I looked at it 2 nights ago. It was like 10% of the responses were, I'm extremely confident. That's fine. I appreciate that feedback. We'll work on that because that's what's really going to carry you through. And confidence just comes from simply doing the work. That's where it comes from. Welcome into our live, everyone that's coming in. Week 6 Police Academy Prep with the Hughes Initiative. Your boy RC, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every Thursday here on TikTok. We're talking about the real battle behind closed doors that no one talks about except me, because I get it. I understand it. It's not about being physically fit. It's not about being smart. It's whether or not you think you can do it. We ask the question, can you see yourself at the academy, exercising, going to class, doing your scenarios, on the range, driving? Can you see yourself doing it and it not make you start to sweat? Does your heart not start beating faster? It's okay. You can do it. I was the same way. If I'm being completely honest, one of the reasons I'm doing this live is because almost the entire time that I was going through the police academy and the process, more importantly, I was going through the process, there was a lot of questions that I had late at night when I'm laying down in bed. What about this? What about that? What if I'm training and I get hurt? I don't know if I can make it. I don't know if I can make it. That's why I'm here, so that we can overcome that. Because a lot of times, for a lot of people, that's what stops you from doing anything. Thank you all who are coming into the live. Welcome again to the Hughes Initiative's Police Academy Prep. This is week 6. We're talking the real battle. I was just talking to a young man in my inbox area on TikTok, and he's asking me about OCD and GAD. I told him to come here so that we can discuss it. Little Jimmy sis, welcome back. Girl right here. It's my girl. I need to get past the physical part. Next physical test is in March. You have time. Do you know the standards? And so it's a 2-part question. Do you know what the standards are for the department that you're trying to apply for? And where are you right now? Not where do you think you are, where are you right now? If the standard is 40 push-ups, how many push-ups can you do right now? If the run is, 10 minutes, 12 minutes, 14 minutes, what's your time? We're not guessing. We're living in reality here. So let me know that information. Lil Jimmy says, you actually have to tell me what your real name is. I'm not going to keep calling you Lil Jimmy sis. Shout out to Jimmy. Little sister's in here rocking it with us every Thursday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The Hughes Initiative's Police Academy Prep. It's week 6. Let's get started. Let's get started. All right. Welcome to class. Y'all know how we do this. Welcome to class. On today's agenda, Understanding why people get stuck. The follower, thank you so much for being here. Love all my videos, and I really do appreciate it. Understanding why people get stuck. We're breaking down the mental, emotional, behavioral patterns that stop progress before preparation ever begins. The mental, emotional, and behavioral patterns. We're going to talk about that. We talked about a little bit about it last week, but I wanted to dive a little deeper into it this week. Let's get down to the nitty gritty. We're going to learn the 3 internal battles. Hold on. Yes, I know the standards, and I feel like I focus on running the 1.5 miles. I don't think I'm ready. It is December. December to January, January, February to March. Catriona, is that what it is? Catriona, am I saying that right? You have 3 months to get yourself to and beyond. And you can do it in 3 months. You can do it in 3 months. Learn the 3 internal battles. Let's get into this. Commitment versus comfort. Commitment versus comfort. Fear versus action. Isolation versus accountability. This is new for the Hughes Initiative's Police Academy Prep. This is a new area, but we're going to talk about it. Once you know the battlefield, you can dominate it. You have to know where the issue lies, right? We pinpoint the issue. It's almost like emotional remediation. That's what we'll call it, emotional remediation. Build a plan that moves forward. Success doesn't begin with perfection. It begins with consistency. The Hughes Initiative Academy exists to give clarity, direction, and accountability so you don't do this alone. Isolation versus accountability, we're going to talk about. Please stick around for that. Let's see what we got here. I took my pre-physical and passed, but I didn't get selected for the academy. What's the rest of the story? We would like to know. Okay? We would like to know. What's the rest of the story? Here's where we can talk about it. Here and also inside of the Hughes Initiative Academy being hosted on the school platform. That's where you're going to find me more often than on a Thursday at noon. I'm here on Thursdays, every Thursday at noon, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But inside of the Hughes Initiative Academy is where you'll find me, have more access to me, where we can video chat together, a one-on-one interview, like a little coffee chat. That's where we are. Inside of the Hughes Initiative Academy, hosted on the school platform, the Police Academy Blueprint. And I got something special. And if you already downloaded the free PDF, which will tell you how to do here, if you already downloaded, I want to run a survey because I'm actually going to be sitting down and interviewing for you all a Police Academy cadet who is in the academy right now, someone who has been through the entire process already. I'm going to be interviewing this person. And they're going to give us the insight that we need so that we can get to where they are. I love you all. This is why I do this. Ain't nobody else going to be interviewing no Police Academy cadets, but I will. And it's not like, some overview. No, we're going to get into the nitty gritty of emotions and what it took to get to where this person is. And this is probably going to just be inside of the Hughes Initiative Academy. So if you ain't in by now, link is in the bio. You better get in. 7-day free trial, $29.99 after that every month. Can we acknowledge the good old boy system still exists, even though admins are saying it doesn't? Glockadoodle, can we acknowledge the good old boy system still exists? The good old boy system. I did a video on this, call it the better part of probably 2 years ago in my 30 Days of Policing in that series, which is on the it's on the profile. Does the good old boy system still exist? I like to frame it like this. It's something that, first of all, it's not industry specific, right? So it's not just law enforcement. In this world, it is not always about what you know, but it's what? Somebody in the comments tell me, it's not always about what you know. What is it? It's about who you know. And once you get inside of law enforcement, it's the same thing. That's right, Raps. Who you know. It's about who you know. So here's how it works. You want to get into a specialty unit, whatever that unit may be, whether it's criminal investigations, you want to get on the SWAT team, you want to get on the K9 unit, whatever. I always say this, and this is what I say to the young members of my department who want to get into specialized units. You have to have a horse. You got to have a horse to ride you through the process. Meaning you got to know somebody. Somebody's got to vouch for you because these units are very, very tight knit. And so they're wanting people who are going to mesh and gel with the unit, especially like a SWAT team. These men and women have to be in sync, in tune up here and physically in their training, because when it's go time, they can't be worried about whether this person's going to show up for them. So they want someone that they know is going to show up for them. That's what they want. So when we talk about the Good Old Boy Network, it's more so really about making connections once you get into law enforcement. Making connections with the right people, communicating, right? Being able to network is a huge thing. And that's just not in law enforcement. That's in anywhere you go. People don't know you exist until you tell them. And then you have to start being around these people. Glockadoodle, I hope that answers your question about the Good Old Boy Network. If there's something else more, please let me know. Getting back to this live presentation that we do every Thursday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right here on the Hughes Initiative's TikTok. The Hughes Initiative Academy, link in the bio, is where you really want to be. Inside of it, we have one of my live presentations from the year model. These videos that you're seeing where we're talking about your word is all you have, and we're talking about ego, that is the ear model. Right now, 7-day free trial. You get in, you watch it, you become better. The Citizens Police Education Program is being migrated to the Hughes Initiative Academy. That is a video series as well. Comes with a workbook. Yes, it does. Scenario questions for you. And then the Police Academy Blueprint. And I'll be honest with you about the Police Academy Blueprint. It kind of hurts my heart. I hired someone to make it into PDFs, and I didn't like the outcome. I didn't like the way that it looked, and so I'm going to redo it. But also, here's this. I got a surprise for you as it relates to the Police Academy Blueprint. It's going to be something that you're really going to like, and I'm going to tell you about that. It'll be your Christmas gift during the 7 days of policing. This is a series where your boy RC will be going live 7 days in a row. More than likely 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right here on TikTok. And we are breaking down everything that you could possibly want. Like, now you're really getting immersed into the Hughes Initiative world, where we're talking about ego, where we're talking about the 3 levels of suspicion. We're talking about traffic stops. You want to be here as someone trying to get into the police academy, but you want your family to be here as well so that they can get educated in areas where I specialize, right? I go to large sports organizations. I'll leave the name out for now, but you will find out soon. And I educate on the laws and what to do on traffic stops and things like the DUI process. And so I want your family in here as well. This is my Christmas gift to you. My Christmas gift to you. I just want to thank you all for being here for that. So, because I love you all. All right, y'all know how we do this. We start off with our first prayer, but we start off with a prayer. Heavenly Father, thank you for this day. Thank you for waking us up and giving us the first blessing of the day, and that is to have us all wake up. We know and understand that not everyone was given that blessing, and so for that, Lord, we say thank you. We know that since we did get that blessing, then it is our responsibility to go out and to spread the good news and to walk a path that is pleasing to you, a path that is full of obedience. We ask that you open the hearts and minds of those who join us today on this live so that they may receive this information and not only receive it, Lord, but to apply it, because that is what is most important. And we know that application has to come by faith. We may not know what the outcome is, but we know that if we are walking forward, obedient to you and allowing you to guide us, then we will find the success that we are looking for. Lord, bless us as we go throughout our days, even on this live and after this live. Put a hedge of protection around us and our families and friends. Give us safe traveling mercies if that is something that we do. And let us have an amazing day. These things we ask in your precious and holy name, Lord. Amen. All right, let's go. First prayer comes from the book of Proverbs, another one of my favorite books. I pull these personally. Commit to the Lord whatever you do, and he will establish your plans. We talk about walking by faith. When you are obedient to the Lord, things become much easier. Opportunities come to you more rapidly. Doors open for you. And what you will find is that the Lord has already had a plan for you. All it required was for you to be obedient and to walk in the path that the Lord has set for you. Once you start doing that, then you will find what you are looking for. But what happens? What do? We try to do it ourselves. The text defines it as leaning on our own understanding. And so we try to forge our own path. One that the Lord didn't call us to walk on. And what we find is dissatisfaction, frustration, time wasted. We find time wasted. And we find individuals in relationships and people that do not benefit us in a positive way. Because we're not in alignment, right? Obedience is being aligned with your assignment, right? Alignment and assignment. It's just like something we learned in football. You got to line up first. You got to line up correctly first. And then you got to know what you're doing once you get lined up. And that's how it is walking a Christian path, right? You got to know what you're doing. And you got to know how to go about doing it. So commit to the Lord whatever you do, and he will establish your plans. Proverbs chapter 16, verse 3. I love this. Thank you all for joining us. If you are just now getting in here, you're late to class. We do this every Thursday, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on TikTok, the Hughes Initiatives Police Academy Prep. This is week 6, the real battle. Let's get into it. Today's breakdown, the real battle, breaking the habits that hold you back. I do this because I love you. That's number one. I do this because I love you. But I also do this because I want you to take the time to focus on the work that needs to be done inside of you to break those habits that are holding you back. The things that are keeping you from finding the success that the Lord has already predetermined that you will have. These things that are holding you back are devices and tools of the enemy, whose only desire is to take you off of that path and to collect your soul when it comes time for judgment. So we do this in an effort to help you do the work. I love people who are actually doing the work, because when we talk about ego, arrogance, and rage inside of the ear motto, when you are doing the work on the areas of life where you are weak and not comfortable, there is an air of humility that comes with it. Because you're like, man, there's no way I can talk negatively about this person or do this person wrong when I'm still in the workshop myself trying to better myself. You understand what I'm saying? When I'm still in the workshop working on those things behind closed doors that really keep me up at night, there's no way possible that I could bring ill will to another person. I got work to do on myself. I ain't got time for that. You don't have time for it. So that's why we do this. All right, y'all can't tell I'm under the weather a little bit. I still show up for you. A question to start: are you preparing or are you procrastinating? If you haven't started, do you talk yourself out of starting? I ask you these real questions, again, because I love you. Are you preparing or are you procrastinating? Are you doing the work for whatever step of the process that you are in? Are you preparing for that? Or are you waking up saying, tomorrow? I don't think I'm ready. I don't think I'm ready. Here's a tip, something that was taught to me and something I've also learned as well. You're never ready. You're never going to be ready to start. If you're waiting for the perfect set of circumstances to come into your life, you're waiting for another sign from the Lord, it's not going to happen. Right? Realistically, you have to start and also figure out how it's going to work and how it's going to look as you're doing it. It's one of those things. Because the more you do it, the more you prepare, the better you get at preparing. The more you prepare, the better you get at preparing. That's like anything. Think about a young child. The first time they try to tie their shoes, no good. Right? No good. Second time, third time, fourth time, sixth time, 15th time. Now they got it. Right? Consistency in your preparation is what makes you better. But are you preparing or are you procrastinating? For myself, me, your boy RC, I like to look at 24 hours in a day. Do I have 45 minutes somewhere in there to exercise? Do I got a 45 minutes to exercise? And the answer is always yes. Because I can think about 45 minutes where I do nothing but scroll this platform or another platform. Or I don't watch TV or like scroll the internet on my computer. Do I got the 45 minutes? Yes, I do. In 24 hours? If you sleep a full 8, that leaves you with 16. What are you doing with the other 16? And do you have 45 minutes in there? You do. You do. Preparing versus procrastinating. Do you talk yourself out of starting? Well, I'm not even going to give it away. We're just going to get into it a little later on. Battle 1. Excuse me. Let me get a little water in here. Commitment versus comfort. Most people lose before they ever start, not from a lack of ability, but from a lack of self-management. It's so easy to continue to do what you've been doing, even though you know that it is not the right thing to do. Many, many people, I was one of them, spend years knowing what they should be doing and still choosing not to do it. Many, many people still smoke, still drink, still use adult content, still gamble. It's their go-to when things get stressful. I am talking about lived experience here. Still do these things instead of committing themselves to the work that needs to be done. You have to ask yourself the question, is that me right now? Am I seeking comfort? Because the commitment looks like really, really challenging work. And comfort is easy. And comfort is the sister of procrastination. Tomorrow. Right? You look in the mirror, don't like what you see. But instead of doing something about it, you just say, I'll do it later. Or I'll do it tomorrow. So what we do as opposed to that is write down one thing you've been delaying. You can do that right now. Write down one thing that you've been delaying. For me, it's I keep a list of police academies around the country, and I call them. I actually have a picture here in my office that says "Shut up and cold call." Shut up and cold call. I've been delaying that, folks. Your academy may not even know about me. I've been delaying calling and emailing and telling them that the Hughes Initiative exists. And I have every state, just about. Well, I do it state by state, but I've been delaying that. What have you been delaying? What have you been putting off giving up? What have you been putting off? Because it is very important to start to build these habits of commitment and not to delay in an effort to be better. If you're here just now joining, thank you for joining the Hughes Initiative Police Academy Prep Week 6. Share the live, smash that share button so that others can get in here as well. I love it that you all are here with me today. I do appreciate you being here. We're talking about the real battle that's keeping us from success. Internal battles that nobody talks about. So share the live if you're here. CM, thank you for sharing. I greatly appreciate it. Let's keep going. But not before we actually write down one thing you've been delaying. Please, write down one thing you've been delaying. I found that in writing it and add that action, I don't know what it is, especially for me, and writing that thing down, it brings it out of your mind and into the real world. We're going to talk about accountability later on, but that's one way that we do that, right? You're not just coming here for motivation. That's not necessarily my thing. There's plenty of motivational speakers in this world. I'm about education and doing the work. So this is why we have an action, because I could just say most people lose before they ever start, not from a lack of ability, but from a lack of self-management. I can just say that and just move on. Nope, something else attached to it, something you need to do, right? Because we're building a foundation. Let's keep going. Why comfort feels safe? Man, when I put these things together, I just shake my head because I know that I'm talking about myself. Comfort is predictable. Comfort is predictable. You know what comfort feels like. You know what telling yourself no, or telling that thing no, you know what it feels like. Saying yes to seeking comfort, you know what that feels like. You're familiar with it. You've been doing it for a year, 2 years, 4 years, 5 years. Right? That toxic relationship that you've been dealing with. You know what it feels like to just stay there. Because the other side is where you really don't want to, you don't know what's on the other side. And so we run back to this side. It's like jumping over a small chasm, right? The other side is here, right? And you have an idea what's over here. But every time that you walk to the edge, think about it, and turn around and go back, you're seeking comfort. Not knowing that on the other side is salvation, freedom from that thing that you're seeking comfort for. Luna's looking for tips on keeping myself calm during a polygraph exam. I am just all nervous. Do you know what it means when you're nervous? Let's talk about that for 1 second. Do you know what it means when you're nervous? It means that you are aware that this thing is going to require you to become a different version of yourself. You know that you are going to have to stretch the fabric of who you are so that you can grow. Luna, as it relates to being nervous and how to keep yourself calm, we talked about this last week and we talked about it inside of the Police Academy Blueprint. You have to be comfortable saying those things that you are embarrassed about. You have to be comfortable and say them enough times that they no longer embarrass you. Last week, I went on a huge soapbox about the things that I've struggled with in life, the things that I had to talk about in my polygraph. I won't belabor you with it again, but you have to become comfortable saying the things that you are nervous about and that they no longer sting when you say them. Because the polygraph is not detecting lies per se. What it deals with is then changes in your body. When you sit down and they strap you in and they start asking you questions. It essentially it has to be like, yep, I did that. Yep, that's how it happened. I mean, because you're going to tell them everything that they're going to be asking you when you fill out the book. And so they may dive a little deeper into some different areas, but you're giving them all the information. So don't leave anything out. Because the moment you leave something out and they ask you a question about it, that's what spikes the machine and you get nervous and then it looks like deception. And that's when they're done with you. Growth requires you to face uncertainty, discomfort, and responsibility. With great power comes great responsibility. You all are looking for the power and authority of becoming a police officer. There is a huge responsibility that comes with that. but that's going to require that you grow. I just said this last night talking to a supervisor. The reason I love law enforcement so much, and I do believe it is the number one job in the world, the greatest job in the world, is because it will reveal those areas where you struggle. It's like money. Money doesn't solve your problems. It magnifies the ones that you already have. If you struggle with self-value and you like to shop and you get a ton of money and you don't address it, you're going to shop more because you're going to have the ability to. If you struggle with alcohol and you haven't addressed it, and you come into law enforcement, this thing will lead you down a path of alcohol abuse really, really quickly. If you struggle with communication, law enforcement is going to reveal that. If you struggle with being around people who don't look like you, law enforcement is going to reveal that. If you struggle with, casual conversation, law enforcement is going to reveal that. If you have a huge ego, and you are out in front of everything trying to protect yourself, law enforcement is going to reveal that. So that's the responsibility. That's the growth that's required in those areas. Again, going back into the workshop and working on yourself. We'd rather at times not do those things, leave them unaddressed because it's just easier. Because we know that it's going to be challenging. And I don't believe in using the word hard as it relates to doing something. For me, it's just the work that's required to be done. Right? I want to be of service to you all. Some people will say it's hard to get off at 6 a.m., get the kids to school by 8:25, try to lay down for a little bit, get up and go live at noon and still bring it every Thursday. I don't see it as hard. I want to be of service. This is the work that's required. This is what's required of me to get to that point, to get to that level. Whatever's required of you is what's required. It just is what it is. You want to be in law enforcement? You got to do the 1.5 miles. You got to do the polygraph. You got to prepare the right way. Because if you don't, then you're not going to achieve the success that you're looking for. And then 2 years later, you'll be like, man, I really could have did that. Luna, it's okay that you couldn't attend last week's session. You know now, every Thursday, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on TikTok. All right, so here's the action. We wrote down something that we're delaying already. Choose one uncomfortable task this week and do it anyway. Is it push-ups? Is it push-ups? When you think about doing push-ups, do you say, I'll start later? And I'll be honest with you, I'm this kind of person. And I'm working so very, very diligently to not be this kind of person. I will wait to the last minute to get something done. I can have 3 weeks to do it, but I'll wait till a week out, 2-3 days out to get it done. And just do it quickly. When I've had all this time to start, to think about it, to get better at it, to revise it, whatever it is, I've had all this time. I struggle with not making things last minute. You struggle with push-ups. Luna, you struggle with running and sit-ups. Listen, Luna, you just got here, but these people that have been here with me for a few weeks, they know I'm going to draw it out of you because I love you, and I also know what it's like. I know what it is. I'm going to draw it out of you. Running and sit-ups. You could run, but do you say no? Yep. Delaying my push-ups and running. You have to think about it this way. You would be so much better if you started today. In 2 weeks, you would be light years ahead. And you would have the rhythm, and your body would have gone through the changes of what happens when you start to do push-ups on a regular basis. And the running. Being realistic with ourselves. Don't think about doing 30 push-ups if you can only do 1. We don't train for where we want to be. We train for where we are right now. We train for where we are right now. Dios primero, I go to the academy in January. Any advice? I'm nervous about the test. Which test? There's going to be a lot of tests in the academy. If you've already gotten through the police application process, then There's going to be a lot more tests. And you say you're nervous. That's okay. Like, that just means that you really, really care. That just means that you really, really care and you don't want to screw it up. That's okay. Which test are we talking about? Let's keep going with this live. These comments that you have, these questions that you're giving me, again, inside the Hughes Initiative Academy, we can actually get like on a one-on-one live and like you can explain it to me instead of trying like to type it out. So that we can just talk through it. Because I know a lot of people are do better that way. I bought a T-Cole 25-26 study guide. Was it worth it? Luna, is that one of the tests? Is that where your testing material comes from? Yeah. So if it's related, then I would say yes. All the mini tests that are required to pass the academy. Dios primero. Relax. Just relax, right? They're not going to give you a test that they don't prepare you for. Like, you're going to have time to prepare. You're going to be exposed to the material that you need in order to prepare for the test that they give you. It's the uncertainty which causes us to be anxious, right? You don't know what the test is going to look like. You don't know what type of questions are going to be on there. That's okay. That's okay. They're going to give you all the information. The police academy is not designed for you to fail. It's designed to challenge you, but it's not designed for you to fail. Let's keep going. All right. Breaking this pattern, right? We identify it, then we break it. Stop waiting to feel ready. Readiness is built through repetition, not emotion. Readiness is built through repetition, not emotion. Little Jimmy Sis, Luna, repetition, not emotion. Push-ups, sit-ups, running. You have to do the work. That's where self-confidence comes from. You're confident in yourself because you've done a thing before. And a lot of times you've done that thing many times. So you are confident in it. Repetition, not emotion, not how you feel. That's where readiness comes from. So action, say aloud with me, future me deserves discipline, not delay. Write that down. Future me deserves discipline, not delay. Discipline is that commitment to the thing that you have to do. FWPD sent me the 2 videos of the PAT and the PRT. It doesn't seem too hard. Future me deserves discipline, not delay. Luna, you say it doesn't seem too hard. Have you done them all the way through? Again, we talk about readiness being built through repetition, not emotion. It might not seem hard until you try to do it 2 times in a row. So you need to actually do this PRT and the PAT. All right? It might not. 1.5 miles seem like a breeze until you get on that track, right? 30 push-ups seem like a breeze until you get down in front leaning rest and start doing them. And you burn out at 7 or 10. Or you're on lap 3 like, I don't know if I can make it, right? You got to do the things to find out where you are to get to where you want to be. All right? Battle number 2, fear versus action. Fear asks, what if I fail? What if I fail? Action says, what if this changes everything? Fear asks, what if I fail? Fear being a tactic of the enemy, because fear is not of God. The Lord never tells us to fear anything except God. What if I fail? How many of you have that question that, like going into a situation? You got to go take a written exam. What if I fail this exam? What if I fail the physical readiness test? What if I fail it? And then you run with, well, what if you fail? Action says, what if this changes everything? What if I go take this test, this test, this test? 1 test at a time is how we work on it. But I take these multiple tests and it changes everything. It changes everything that about me, about my life, about my future. What if it changes everything? That's what action does. John, that's your fear. What if you fail? I know. I was there. It took me 2 years to become a police officer. What ended up happening was my med psych packet got sent to the wrong apartment building, and they shelved my application. I thought it was just going to be a long process, but I spent a lot of time wondering, even though I didn't even know that information at that time, what if I go to the academy and just fail? Right? Like, what if I just absolutely bomb this thing? That's how we look at things. And when we look at them that way, it leads us to more anxiety and seeking comfort and not taking the step. We're going to talk about it later on. Just stick around, stick and stay, because we're going to talk about what that actually looks like. Welcome to those who are just jumping into the live. You're late to class. That's all right. The Hughes Initiatives, Police Academy Prep, every Thursday, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Also, if you're just getting in here, you need to be looking out for the 7 days of policing. December 24th, over the Christmas holiday, and the following 7 days, 6 days after that. We're breaking down everything that you need to know. Me, seeking comfort. I did not make the video for the 7 days of policing. I said, I ain't got no time. There's a lot of work that goes into it. I just didn't make it. And in that way, I fell short for you all. Being honest with you. But we get better. So the action, you write down both. Worst case scenario. What's the worst case scenario? You fail. What's the best case scenario? What's the worst? What's the best? What's the worst that can happen? What's the best that can happen? Right? Putting it in a framework you can work with. The worst that could happen is that you reapply. The best that could happen is you go to the police academy, pass the police academy, become a police officer. You check that box and you start living that dream. Oh, that's the best. That's the best case scenario. And this is what we focus on. We focus on the best case scenario because this is what drives us to success. The worst ain't nothing. The worst, that's nothing. The best, that's everything. That's where the nervousness comes from, because you know you can achieve this. Especially now that you found the Hughes Initiative. You know you can achieve this. Let's keep going. Why fear feels loud. Fear grows in silence and isolation. It shrinks when you start moving, though. Fear grows in silence and isolation. And I know that we keep these things. Thank you all for sharing the live. We keep these things close to the vest at times. We don't like to tell people that we're doing these things because what if we fail? You may not go around telling them, I'm going to the police academy. I'm going to the police academy. Oh, I'm going to the police academy. Because the fear of having to go back and say, hey, I didn't make it. The fear of having to go back and say I didn't make it, that's an ego thing. That's an ego thing all day long. That's an ego thing. Right? You get embarrassed because you weren't successful this time. But fear grows in silence. But when you start moving, it shrinks when you move. When you are doing the work and preparing the right way, you are in alignment with your assignment, there is no fear. You don't even consider it. You start to actually look at, okay, how much better can I get before the date comes? Like, I'm getting good. I want to get to this level. You start to push yourself in your preparation. You start off doing 10 push-ups. You work your way up to 20. The date is like 2 months out. You say, I try to get to 90. I want to be able to do 90 straight. Or I want to be able to do, 3 sets of 30. That's what crushes fear when you're moving and you're moving forward. So the action, you tell someone one goal you're working towards this week. Just one person. You ain't got to tell 50,000 people. You tell one person one goal that you're working on. What's one goal you want to do? I'm going to start my push-up preparation. I'm going to start taking my running preparation serious. I'm going to start studying the vocabulary, reading comprehension. I'm going to start these things. Like when it's, I'm going to start running. That's right. And so let me back you up. Let me back you up for a second. Start where you are right now. Because I don't want you to frustrate yourself because you want to run the 1.5 miles, but you've never done it before. Start where you are right now. For some of you, it's running the 1.5 miles and working on the time. Like you can run a full 1.5 miles, and now it's about time, because that's what's important, running it for time. But if you're not there yet, you have to start where you are. If it's a lap, start with a lap. If it's 100 meters, start with 100 meters. Jog 100, walk 100. Jog 100, walk 100. You're going to end up walking more because you don't have the cardiovascular endurance to keep that pace up for 6 laps or 7 laps. But you start where you are. Again, because when you're moving, this is where you start to push yourself. You start to push yourself that way. If you're just joining, please share the live. Thank you for coming into class, the Police Academy Prep. This is week 6, the real battle with the Hughes Initiative. Your boy RC, every Thursday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you for being here, right? So you tell one person one goal that you're working towards this week, right? So we write down something that we're delaying. We tell a person one goal. Breaking the pattern, number 2. Stay steady under pressure. Motion builds momentum. Ain't that what I just said? It's almost like I made this. Motion builds momentum. Momentum builds confidence. Confidence builds identity. You start moving and picking up steam, right? You start running on a regular basis. As you continue to do this, you build momentum. That regular basis is what builds your confidence. I can do this. Right? Once you start doing it quickly you will break away from I can't do this to I can do this now. I know I can do this. And then this is where the confidence comes from. The confidence is what builds your identity, right? One of our goals here is to fill those holes, not with cotton, not with something soft, not with comfort, but to fill them with concrete so that we are whole people. So that when we get to the academy, it almost comes across as arrogant how confident we are. But we're confident because we've done this and we know we can do more. When I went to the police academy, I was mid-divorce. My family was 5 hours away in another state. It was just me. My mindset when I got there was, I'm not going home. Whatever they throw at me, I am not going home. They cannot break me here. Because I have nothing else. This is all I have. In this very moment, this is all I have. My success here at this academy is the only thing that I have. I'm not going home. So it became challenging. We went through a couple things that were unique. Don't matter. I ain't got nowhere to go. You run me as much as you want me. Push up as much as you swim, yell, scream. I ain't going nowhere. I'm going to be here for the duration. Yes, start your running prep. Start your cardio. Work on your breathing techniques. Luna, that comes with actually doing it. Right? Because if you're not, familiar with running, it's going to be really, really challenging to try to control your breathing. Your body has to actually get used to you running first, doing something that it's never truly done before or it hasn't done in a while. Like the breathing techniques will come. You'll find your breathing cadence. It's different for everybody. You'll find it though. So what we do is we set a 10-minute timer and work on something you've avoided. You got 10 minutes to get down and struggle through some push-ups to start, don't you? And again, we start where we are, not where we want to be, not where we think we are, rather. If you can only do 5 in 10 minutes, that's all you can do. That's it. If you can do 10, great. If you can do 20, great. But if you can only do 5 in 10 minutes, then you can only do 5. It's not about where you start, it's about where you finish. Everything is ugly when you first started. Doesn't matter what it is. You start something brand new, it's going to be ugly. You start running, you don't even know how to run. You think you know how to run. That's the emotion we talk about. You think you know how to run, but you don't. That's okay. Just start running. So we set a 10-minute timer and work on something you've avoided. Right? I've been focused on the physical, but I know for a lot of people, some of it is the education stuff. Some of it is the reading and the math, right? When's the last time you looked at antonyms and synonyms? When's the last time you looked at fractions and percentages? When's the last time you used proper English in writing? Right? When's the last time, those consonants and vowels and a subject-verb agreement and stuff that we teach here? When's the last time you looked at it? 7th grade? 5th grade? Is that when? You have to be honest with yourself. That's some work too. I would tell you to focus on throughout the entire process, because I don't want you to set yourself up for non-success by overlooking an aspect that you think you got. Take your time and go over everything. You have the time. Unbothered with 0 carols, trio 2. I just passed my physical and written exam. Somebody show them some love. Clap it up for them. Give them some thumbs up. Give them some likes. Yeah, you come to the right place. We celebrate success here. We celebrate success here. Congratulations. If nobody else said it to you, I'm saying it to you. I'm proud of you. That's a huge step. Those are huge steps. There's plenty of people who don't pass those steps. Heartache collections, courtroom testimony. That comes with time. We talk about that inside the Hughes Initiative Academy. We'll prep you for courtroom testimony because that's one of my favorite things to do is to testify. Let's keep going. I got to remember to click on this screen here. I got the dual screens going, so I got y'all here. I got the PowerPoint in front of me. User Amy 204. I'm going on my first ride along for LAPD today. I'm so excited. 4 p.m. to 2 a.m. Oh, you'll be out there like me out there, right? You'll be out there with me, not in LA, but you'll be out there. Yes. Congratulations. Clap it up for Amy. I'm proud of you. You got to the point where you're at the ride along. Yes. That's major. There's major steps being taken here by people coming into the Hughes Initiatives Live, the Police Academy Prep every Thursday, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm so glad that you're here. That's right. Clap it up. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Yes. The success that you are seeking, you find. The success that you are seeking, you find. When you are in alignment, obedience to your alignment and your assignment. This is what the Lord has called you to do. Make no mistake about it. The Lord does not put on your heart becoming a police officer by chance, because there are millions of people who never get it put on their heart. But if the Lord has put it on your heart, then this is what you're supposed to be doing. The industry needs people who want to be here. The Lord calls those who he wants to be in law enforcement to law enforcement, which is why you're also here with me today. If you're looking for another sign, this is your sign. This is it. This is the sign. Nothing subtle, right out in front. This is what you're supposed to be doing. Pray, Amy, and keep moving forward. I remember being at the academy, running. Wasn't my strong point. I had some instructors that were like really good runners. I remember running, praying, whole time. Lord, just get me through this run. Please, I'm begging you, just get me through this run. Whatever you require of me, I will do. That was every day. That was every run. That was every run. Get me through this run, Lord. Don't let me get hurt. Keep me healthy. Don't let me pull nothing. And the Lord was kind. There was people getting shin splints and hamstrings and ankles. And I'll just get me through this run. That's all I ask. And I'll be praying for you to get me through the next thing too. I spent the entire time just praying. Lord, get me through this. Get me through this. Get me through this. Get me through this test. Get me through this qualifying session. It's all right. You think about people in the Bible. I'm reading in the book of Numbers now. Moses is on his face praying to the Lord on a very regular basis. Lord, these people are upset with me. They are questioning you. Help me. Help me. And we know that the Lord will help us as one of our first prayers from the book of Jeremiah. The Lord will help you. Jeremiah did not want to be that prophet. He did not. He did not want to go to kings and tell them that their civilizations would come to ruin because of their disobedience, because he knew it could cost him his life. Constantly praying. That's okay. That's all you really have, to be completely honest. But we keep going. Uh-oh. All right, I got to move this piece back. All right, we're back. God bless you. Thank you, Amy. God bless you. Lord, give me the strength today and protect me from anything. The Lord will guide you. I have no doubt about that. He didn't bring you to this point to harm you, right? He didn't bring you this far along to harm you. That's not what he does. Let's keep going. Isolation versus accountability. This is what we were talking about earlier. When no one notices you quit, quitting becomes easier. When don't nobody know, and that's the thing. That's why I created the Hughes Initiative Academy, so that there was a level of accountability in us all. Because when it's just you, the enemy is very powerful. He has the tools and the tactics to make you lay down and stop walking on your path when it's just you and him. He tempted our Lord and Savior and was unsuccessful. But that was our Lord and Savior. He has been wildly successful in tempting human beings since the creation of the first human being. Who do you think you are to overcome the wiles and the tools of the enemy? Especially when he has you so wrapped in fear that you won't even say anything. This is where, I can't remember who it was talking about the polygraph being so nervous. Yes, you're nervous. You're afraid. There's fear. Because you haven't said those things that you were embarrassed about. And so what they are, if I give you a visual picture, they're chains that the enemy puts on you to weigh you down. Well, I did this, so they ain't going to want, I made this poor decision that I'm super embarrassed about. Those decisions that when you stop, like when you think about them as you're driving, you go, ooh, man, I'm glad I didn't tell anybody about that. Because that was a low point in my life. That was not me at my finest hour, right? Those things. And isolate, keeping them to yourself. It's like being in a relationship and being unfaithful. It will absolutely eat you alive to keep it in, especially when you're looking at this person in their face every day and you're spending time with them and you're telling them that you love them. You have to say those things that you are embarrassed about in order to free yourself from them. Because the enemy absolutely hates when you no longer are ashamed about making poor decisions in life. That the police academy process is the process. That's why I love it so much. That draws that out. You're going to have to sit down with that background investigator and be accountable. You're going to have to sit down with that polygrapher and be accountable. Yes, I did this. The enemy hates that. He hates it when you say, yes, I did this. And I'm no longer ashamed of it. Yes, I struggle with alcohol. Yes, I struggle with illegal substances. Yes, I struggle with adult content. Having poor self-image and having multiple bodies, as people say, as it relates to other people from the opposite sex or the same sex in relationships. Yes, I struggle with gambling. Yes, I have poor credit. Yes, I made bad decisions with credit cards. Yes, I did these things. You have to be comfortable saying that. Especially when you do the polygraph. Because when that polygrapher starts digging into you about that credit history and you start to get nervous because you feel embarrassed, and you start to stutter and stammer, and then you know what? I'm sorry, but you're not being honest with me about this. And you go, no, yes, I am. And he or she says, the machine's telling me you're not being honest with me about it. Those things. Yes, me personally, yes, I got stopped when I was 19 years old driving with no insurance, no registration on the vehicle. Yes, I got my driver's license suspended. It was suspended for like 2 years. I was in college, so I didn't even need a driver's license. Yes, this happened. Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? Somebody give me a thumbs up. Luna's saying she lost no voice talking. If y'all can hear me, give me a thumbs up. Because I can hear me. Right? Chris says, I had to open up about my credit history, and honestly, it felt good letting them know. Yes. Now, Chris, I ain't saying nothing about, but I drew that out, right? Because it's the truth. I tell you these things because I know that they are true. And Chris, now you tell the people, yes or no. Was there a great weight lifted off of your shoulders when you said, yes, I made these decisions as it relates to my credit history. They were poor decisions. And this is what I've done since then. I'm telling you, when you are honest with yourself, you can be honest with anyone. I made poor decisions as it relates to relationships. This is me talking to you about me. When I first became a police officer, I went through a massive identity crisis. I thought I had to be with this kind of person. It didn't work, but I created a child. I said, I thought I got to be with this kind of person. It didn't work. I created a child. My two youngest babies were 10 months apart. 10 months apart. My two youngest babies. They are the same age at the same time for like a month and a half. Some people would run from that and be embarrassed by that. I tell you this because it no longer is a chain on me. I made these poor decisions. Here's what I've done in the meantime. I fought and won primary custody of both of them. I raised them in my house. Poor decision making, and I take accountability for the relationships not going well because I made the choice. It was me. I chose the people to be with. I chose to continue to interact with them and to deal with them and also to have unprotected sex with them. It was me. I did this. That's how you have to look at these things, what you are embarrassed about. I did this. You get to be a victim once. After that, you're a volunteer. Write that down. All right, so let's get back to this because we're almost towards the end. Isolation versus accountability. When no one notices you quit, quitting becomes easier. So you list 3 people that you spend the most time with, and you figure out, do they fuel you or do they drain you? Now, this is an extra step, but this is a part of becoming a police officer that is extremely necessary. The people that you have around you. Do they support you? Or don't they support you? Do they push you towards success or do they pull you away from it? Because once you become a police officer, and you all will, once you become a police officer, who you have around will become of even greater importance. Because the people you have around you have to be aware of the fact that you can't be in every scenario or every situation. You can't go to every place because you represent something greater than yourself. Do they fuel you or do they drain you? Chris says, and I plan to turn it around when I'm in the academy so I can attack that dead off. Yep. And that's just consistency. Ultimately, Chris, that's just consistency. That's all that is. Because when you're paying debt off, if you can't pay it all off at once, then you got to pay it off piece by piece every month. Commit that money, those funds to that thing. That's what we do. All right, let's keep going. Accountability, why it matters. When someone expects consistency from you, like me, when you all expect consistency from me, you start expecting it from yourself. I'm rocking on like 2.5 hours of sleep, but I'm committed to you all. You all expect me to be here every Thursday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right here on the TikTok platform. So I expect to be here every Thursday, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right here on the TikTok platform. It's the consistency. Why the Lord has me doing this, I do not yet know the reason. But what I am doing is being obedient. So the action is choose or seek one accountability partner or community. We already got that answer for you. It's right here. And it's inside the Hughes Initiative Academy that's hosted on the school platform. The link is in the bio. 7-day free trial to join. The community's here. The accountability partner is me and everyone else. This is your community. You found it. You don't have to do this alone. I would never want you to do it alone. You found it. It's here. All right. So we break this pattern this way. The right circle doesn't applaud excuses. It builds discipline. You're not going to get a pat on the back from me for laying down. This is one of the challenges with my children. Listen, you all are so young in life that the only failure is when you quit. So get up and let's keep walking. You need people like that around you. Like I was talking to a young man in my DMs here on this platform. He said, "RC, I didn't pass the written test." I said, "Okay. How long you got to wait to schedule to take it again?" You find no sympathy from me in that way. We just keep going. Nobody said it was going to be easy. And honestly, a lot of times I prefer it not be easy. Right? I prefer it not be easy because there's real growth in finding success in something that's challenging. You need people around you, the right circle, that's not going to allow you to make excuses. You say you're going to do something. Discipline comes from doing what you say you were going to do when you say you were going to do it. And then doing it on a very regular basis. Luna has her 2 sons and her husband. Yeah, they in your house. They know what the goal is. I'm so glad you brought the kids into it. My youngest baby, she knows that I'm focused on exercising and getting back into better shape. It was Sunday. We were downstairs. She was playing, and I was like, "All right, like I'm gonna sit down." And I sat down on the couch. And she walked right over to me and she was like, "Daddy, you gonna do your burpees? Daddy, you gonna do your burpees?" And I ain't said nothing about burpees in like a week or so. I just do them. She said, "Daddy, you gonna do your burpees?" And I know that this is the Lord speaking to me. I know that the Lord is speaking to me through my baby. I said, "You know what? All right." I got up. Y'all give me some room, push the ottoman away. Knock them out. Because she is expecting me to do them. She's accountability for me. She's accountability for me. Actually, all of my children and my wife are for me as well. And you all are too. I show up for you. I show up for them. I show up for my department. People are expecting me, depending on me to be there. And so I give the max effort every time. Y'all think it's cute. I was like, I really had an internal battle. Like, man, who told you just the most inopportune time? But we talked about it earlier. Commit to something for 10 minutes. That's all it takes. Because once you do it, once you get done with that thing, you automatically feel better. You check a box off a list. You check one of the boxes off the list. Now you can build on that. Right now you can build on it. Well, I got my burpees done. Now I can do something else. Or I got my running done. That's what I really wanted to get done today. I did it. I'm good. As opposed to another day of, man, I didn't even run today. Or I didn't even do my burpees today. Dang. We don't want that. We want the box checked. So we replace one excuse with our replacement behavior example. I'm tired. Go for a 10-minute walk. I just recreated a workout program for myself. And it's like 45 minutes. Because I'm the type that was, if I'm going to go to the gym, I'm going to be in the gym for a long time. I don't have that kind of time. I got 45 minutes. And I don't even have to think about it. Like I just go. Get it done. And when I go, I'm just trying to get it done. I'm not trying to break no records. I'm not trying to do no progressive overload. If I don't have the energy to, we using 35-pound dumbbells today. On a better day, when I got more rest, we'll use 55s. But today we're using 35s. We doing 20 minutes of cardio. We would run for 20 minutes. We walking, watching CNN or whatever they got on the TV. Because I'm just getting it done. It's like that sometimes. And that's okay. Just keep going. Discipline is greater than motivation. Motivation starts you. Discipline is what sustains you. Motivation doesn't carry you through. It never will, because you will never always feel like you have the motivation for it. Discipline is what carries you through. If 5 a.m. is the time that you exercise, that you study, that you practice, then 5 a.m. is the time. When you start to be disciplined with it, then you start to build around it. You could stay up till 11, 12, but you know you are getting up at 5 a.m. When that alarm goes off at 4:50, 5 o'clock, you're getting up. So you could go out with your friends on a Saturday or a Sunday, but you know that you're getting up at 5 a.m. the very next day. That's discipline. The ability to say no to those things that you want to do, to say yes to those things that you have to do. That's discipline. That's also the hallmark of a great parent. The ability to sacrifice one's own personal interests for those of another who didn't ask to be here. I do not love the Monday through Friday, getting the kids up ready to go to school routine, especially after working well into the early morning. But this is what's required to be a parent, to give them the environment that's conducive to love, learning, growth, and consistency. They know that me and my wife are going to be around this time. We getting up. We there. This is what I want for you, to be there. The discipline is what's going to get you there. Motivation to get you started. You say yes one time, but discipline is what makes you say yes time and time again. Welcome to all of those who are joining us on the live here, the Hughes Initiative Police Academy Prep. This is week 6, the real battle. We're talking about those things that stop us and how to overcome them. Pick one behavior and repeat it daily for 7 days. My girls that are starting running, tomorrow morning, you start running. You start running or walking. Don't make me no difference. You do it for 7 days. And I would tell you not to run for 7 days in a row, especially if you're just starting. You're going to hurt yourself. But you do this thing. You do this thing. Unbothered with zero cares, 202. You don't like running? That's unfortunate, because at the police academy, you're going to run. They're going to run you. So let's start getting prepared. It's living in reality, accepting that this is a part of it. You ain't got to like it. You don't have to like it. What you do have to do is endure it and overcome it. Because you never know. Like, I never ran long distance. Like, I played football and track and field. I jumped. I never ran long distance. I actually learned to love running as I prepared for the academy and continue to run now after being a police officer for over a decade. So you never know. You don't know what it's going to turn into. I was fearful of water until I taught myself how to swim before going to the academy. Now I love to swim. It's a skill that I've developed. Am I Michael Phelps? No. But for 28 years, I would only go to water that came to like my waist. Now, when we go on vacation, I'm head first out in that deep water, swimming around. So you don't have to love it, but you'd be surprised what happens when you actually commit to something and you get better at it. Like Marv said, you don't have to be perfect, but you have to try and not quit and finish through. Absolutely. So we pick one behavior and we repeat it for 7 days. All of these actions in red, I need you to write these things down so that you have something to guide you. Write these things down so you have something to guide you. I know, unbothered, I know it. It's not a whole lot of people's go-to, right? People would rather lift weights than to run. But that cardiovascular exercise is really, really good for you. It's really good for you. All right, let's keep going. The truth about growth isn't supposed to feel natural. It's supposed to feel new. The stretching of your inner fabric so that the Lord can pour in more to you. You must be stretched in order for the Lord to use you for more. It's not supposed to feel natural. When you first start stretching, when I first started stretching my hips, I made this important, this hip flexibility. It absolutely sucks, especially if you've never focused on it. Pigeon pose, frog pose, 90-90s, like growing stretch, deep squat, stand in that position, 30 seconds, a minute and a half, 2 minutes, feels absolutely terrible when you first start. But the more you do it, the better you become at it. The less it hurts. Like running, the less it hurts. It's not supposed to feel good at the beginning. It's not supposed to feel natural. It's so unnatural because you have no experience with it. It'll be like you all when you go to the firing range. If you've never held one of those, firearms before, if you've never held one before, of course it's going to be natural to be concerned. But the more you practice, the better you become. It's not going to feel natural. You never lifted weights before. You never went through a cardiovascular regimen. You never been through like push-ups, sit-ups, that kind of stuff. Calisthenic regimen, excuse me. It's going to be unnatural. But I'm telling you, when you get to the academy, this is what you're going to do. And you're going to become intimately familiar with it. And so once you become familiar, the goal is then to become better by doing it and to push yourself, right? That momentum creating confidence, and that confidence helping create an identity. So again, we write down, where am I resisting change? Where am I shrinking in the face of confrontation? Y'all know I love that. Y'all know that's one of my favorite sayings to ask myself. And what is that resistance protecting? That's a deeper part of the question. Where am I shrinking in the face of confrontation? And confrontation is not always a conversation. A lot of times it's a choice. Do I choose to do push-ups? Do I choose to run? Do I choose to study vocabulary or grammar? Yes, when you say yes, you don't shrink in the face of confrontation. When you say no, you shrink in the face of that confrontation. And what is this resistance protecting? We talk about this inside the ear model. An ego being a shield that we put up to protect ourselves from future pain because of pain that we've experienced in the past. And so now our brain says to us, okay, we're going to get out in front of this thing and allow no one to ever hurt us again. Right? That's why relationships fail, because walls don't come down. You're always protecting yourself. No one gets to know who the real you is. What is this resistance to this change, to this growth? What is it protecting? Where have you failed in life before that you're still embarrassed about? That people may not know. What situation was it? A long time, it was for me, I was in the 4th or 5th grade, and I made it to the spelling bee. and I misspelled my word and I lost. And I was like, it was like 3 people left and I lost. That crushed me for years. Crushed me for years. That loss, that sense of embarrassment that washed over me in that very moment. Like, forget getting through 25 other kids and getting down to the last 3. Like, forget knowing those words. It was that word that I misspelled. It crushed me. And because I didn't have, my mother was working, my father wasn't in the picture, I didn't have anyone to support me to say, okay, that's all right. Next year, we're going to win it because we're going to study and we're going to practice harder. I didn't have that. So I went through a lot of my life fearful of taking chances because of that one instance where I misspelled that word. But that was deep work that I had to do in an effort to learn to get over that. So your resistance to growth, what is that? What is that resistance protecting? And to be completely honest, it's usually exposing yourself, opening yourself up, being vulnerable. To saying, like, this is challenging. This is testing me. This is not easy. And having other people around see you be challenged. Right? Like, I don't know how long you guys have been with me, but if you've been with the Hughes Initiative, you've seen where I started and where we are now. It wasn't great when I first started. The videos is ugly. Go to the profile and scroll all the way to the bottom. There's like 400 videos. Scroll all the way to the bottom. Look at that first video I put out. It was absolute garbage. Now I look at it now. I look back at it now. It was absolute garbage. But it's not where we are now. So find out what it is that you're trying to keep from happening again. That thing that happened that hurt you. Because you're going to have to overcome that. This is the internal battle as we start to wrap this thing. This is the internal battle that we're talking about. And maybe it's more than one thing. Maybe it's 2 or 3 things. Maybe you have multiple examples of you being vulnerable that you've gotten hurt. And you say, and your brain says, we're not going to let this happen again. But that manifests itself in this process because you're afraid of failing. But we can't have that. We overcome that. Because guess what? So what if you don't pass it the first time? So what? What that teaches you is that you go and you use what you've learned, because there is no failure. There's no failure in experiences if you learned a lesson from it. Okay, in my preparation, I didn't run as hard as I needed to run. I didn't pass this PRT the first time. Now I know I go back into the workshop. I go back to the track or wherever I'm running and I run harder. This is what we do. I'm so scared of the oral interview. I'm so scared of the oral interview. Why? One of the comments is why. I'm scared of the oral interview. Why? Because if you're fearful, then that means that you haven't prepared enough. You've been shrinking in the face of confrontation. Or it could be that you don't know how to prepare. That's why the Hughes Initiative Academy exists. I will one-on-one interview you. We had our oral interview prep, I think it was 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago. You don't know how to prepare. You come to the right place. Join the Hughes Initiative Academy, 7-day free trial right now to get in and let us schedule an oral interview. You come dressed in your best, as you would. I'll come dressed in mine. We will have a virtual interview. I will ask you those questions, similar to those questions that they will ask you. And then we will talk through it. And it's not a game. Like, it's going to be like real life. When you sit down with me, you're going to feel like you're in front of a panel. Because that's the kind of preparation that you need. It's one thing to look in the mirror and read the question out loud and then try to answer it. It's another thing to have preparation in a proper framework, which is what the Hughes Initiative teaches. It's a framework to answering these questions. It's rock solid. Join the Hughes Initiative Academy, the HI Academy. Link is in the bio, hosted on the school platform. Let us find out what that resistance is protecting. And it's usually embarrassment or something along the lines of that. All right. The habit reset. Small wins are greater than big intentions. You can intend to do great things, but you have to build it. The intent is there. I know the intent is there for all of you. You intend to be successful police officers. But it's like inside the ear model when I talk about my challenge chart. You want to be the world's best police officer. But that is such a huge goal. And without the proper framework, you won't ever achieve it. So we break it down into steps. We break it down. Consistency is better than perfection. Just what I tell y'all. I go to the gym. The fact that I'm there is a win. And I learned this from a retired NFL player. He said, I go to the gym, RC, and whatever I get done in an hour is what I get done. From the time I walk through the door to the time minute 58 hits, that's what I do. That's it. Right? Showing up is way better than trying to be perfect. Direction is better than guessing. Your direction starts right here with the Hughes Initiative. Joining the Hughes Initiative Academy hosted on the school platform. Right? The Police Academy Blueprint is your direction. So you don't have to guess. That's why I created it. Because you have to go to so many different places. There's so much different advice. Some of it not all great for every step of the process. Written test, oral interview, background, polygraph, physical readiness, med psych. It'll make your head explode. I give you direction so you no longer have to guess. So the action, write this down. One small win, one uncomfortable action, one accountability check-in. You got the accountability check-in by being here with me today. One small win. Just one. Nothing crazy. I would say if we're going to do it that way, say no to something that you would usually say yes to that you know is no good for you. So if you drink on a regular basis, say no today. Fight that fight for the rest of the day and just say no today. If it's one push-up, you don't want it you're not comfortable doing push-ups, just do one push-up. You ain't got to do 30. You can do one. Get up, walk away. We talk about doing something for 7 days in a row here. One push-up for 7 days. Now I know, you start this momentum, it ain't just going to be one, but the goal is one. The goal is one lap, however that looks. Walk it, jog it, walk, jog it, run it, whatever. It's just one. Start where we are, not where we want to be. We'll get to where we want to be, probably sooner than we really even can imagine. We'll get there. And then one accountability check-in. The Hughes Initiative Academy hosted on the school platform. You send a message there, I'm getting right back to you. You send a message on one of these social media platforms, it may take me a while because I'm not on here all like that. But one win, one uncomfortable action, one accountability check-in. Marvy Marv says, I want to be an officer that's reliable when I show up. Other officers know they will be okay. That starts here, right? You start having that high level of accountability with yourself first before anyone else can count on you. You start with yourself first because that's the discipline. You have the motivation to be great, but do you have the work ethic to do it and the discipline to do it on a regular basis? All right, the decision point. You can continue trying alone, or you can grow with guidance, structure, and support. That's what you find here at the Hughes Initiative. I am here to help you. The Lord has called me to be of service. I am going to be of service to you. I'm going to help you. The ultimate goal for me, the ultimate gain that I find is to build a community of people who came from not believing that they could do it to actually doing it and finding success. And then that same community, we all reach our hand out to people who were once where we were, not believing, and taking their hand and pulling them up to us. And it's not just one hand, millions of hands pulling multiple people up from rock bottom sometimes. That's the goal. You got to ask yourself, which version of me will win the comfortable one or the committed one? Which version of you is going to win this thing? Which version of you is going to win this thing? The comfortable one or the committed one? How many years, how many days, how many months has the comfortable version of you been winning? Let's be honest with ourselves. How long has the comfortable version of you been winning? When you look in the mirror, when you look at your physique, is this comfortable or is this committed? When you think about your studies, is this sharp and committed or is this comfortable? I'll do it tomorrow. I won't put all the effort in. I got this already. Even though when test time comes, now you're nervous because what if you don't have it? You can erase all of that. You can erase all of that by being the committed version of yourself. All right? If you have not, and I don't know why you have not, if you have not downloaded the free PDF, the Police Academy Prep 20-Day Starter Plan, available on the website, download the free PDF. It's going to give you direction to start. It ain't the whole program. It's somewhere to start. It's that one win, that one uncomfortable thing that you have to do. That first step towards commitment. Has running guides in there for you. We give an overview of every step of the process. Free. Right on the website. Front page. Right there. Click it. Fill out the Google form. Get the PDF. Join the email list. Because the email list is what's important. This is where you're going to find that work that's being done behind closed doors that I'm doing, where you're going to find out first. And you're going to have access to it first. When I bring in polygraphers and background investigators and, like physical fitness instructors inside the Hughes Initiative Academy, you're going to know before everyone else. That's why I'm building this community, because I want you to have access to these people. They ain't for everybody. Like law enforcement, not for everybody. But for those who are seeking to find success, there is a path. It's through the Hughes Initiative. Go to the website, hi-teaches.com, download the free PDF, and join the Hughes Initiative Academy. I've been telling you this. But don't make it difficult on yourself. Right? Like, it is okay. You've been with me for over an hour now, hour and a half. It is okay to join the Hughes Initiative Academy and become a part of the community. As we continue to grow it, this is where you'll continue to find those accountability partners, where we will really celebrate success. We will jump on calls and just talk about how we feel about different steps of the process. This is where you will meet people who have more lived experience in the area which you may currently be struggling in, as opposed to trying to figure it out yourself. Again, because the enemy loves isolation. Because when no one knows that you're trying, quitting becomes easier. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for joining me again right here in the Hughes Initiative's Police Academy Prep. This was week 6, the real battle. I'm so proud of all of those of you who have taken the steps, who have found success in the process. And for those of you who are watching, who are being quiet and silent and don't know where to start, here is where you start. This was your sign from the Lord to get started. These are the people that you want to be around. and they are inside of the Hughes Initiative Academy on the school platform. Link is in the bio. 7 days of policing coming up right before Christmas. I got a special gift wrap gift for you. I know you're going to love it. I know you're going to love it. And I want to give it to you. So if you haven't already, click the like, follow, and subscribe. Every Thursday, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on the TikTok platform for the Hughes Initiative. I want to thank you all, and I will see you next time. Have a blessed weekend, and I will be right back here next Thursday.